Last weekend, I went to my first ever autocross event, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. I had been asked by my friend maybe a few weeks prior, hey, was I going to autocross? It's something that I've thought about for years. I wanted to go, but just felt a little nervous or just wasn't really sure. So this was the year that I finally pulled the trigger and said, you know what? Yeah, I think the car is ready. I'm ready. Let's do it. Right, so the Imouri WRX behind me here is what I ended up taking, of course. So after signing up, I honestly felt really pumped and ready to go until the morning of. That was when I got like that little bit of anxiousness. I wouldn't say I was like full on nervous, like I'm confident in my driving. I'm not really afraid to drive fast at all, but I was just more nervous about like the event and how it would go in and of itself because it was my first one. I wasn't really sure how they actually operated, like what you would do when you got there, how they lined the cars up, how the logistics of the event would actually work. That's what made me most anxious. When it came to the driving, I've done a decent amount of like karting in my life, and with all the sim racing I've been doing over on twitch.tv/Imouri Shop. Watch the race streams. That experience with like having a proper sim racing rig and doing karting in my past, like that definitely helped build the confidence for this event. So yeah, anyways, morning of, I'm texting my friend, he's saying, make sure you bring water, make sure you bring snacks. So I was like, okay, so like, I don't know if we're gonna get a lunch, if like how that's gonna work. But I definitely need to make sure I have some sort of food, right? Because you don't wanna be at low energy when you're driving a car at very erratic speeds. I get the snacks, throw them in the car, sun lotion. It was a really hot day, like really hot day. Meet up with my friends and we roll out. So when you get to the event, the first thing that happens is a tech inspection, which basically like the safety essentials, are they there? Is your car gonna be able to run without having a catastrophic meltdown? The Imouri WRX passed, thankfully. I got through that, so that was like one weight off my shoulder. I was like, okay, tech inspection's done, I can drive now. So that made sense. After that, it was like more or less just like walking the course, meeting the instructors because they had volunteer instructors there. The whole thing is like a volunteer operation to my understanding. And it was honestly so professional how they put this thing on. They had proper race timers. This was like a legit race event against the clock. So after walking the course and getting the lecture from instructors on like what to do, what not to do type of thing, it was finally time to drive. There were 3 waves of cars, each in our own group, and I was the first group up. Nothing like being thrown right in there. They directed us all into a grid where we kind of lined up, and then they had a controller kind of just say, yep, you're next, pull up. You go to a start line and it was off to the races. You were against the clock. I got put with this instructor, shout out Mike if you're watching this. He coincidentally had a 15 plus Subaru WRX. It looks like this. Super sick car. He was probably my favorite instructor of the whole day. He really just like let me have it while I was driving and wasn't really afraid to hold back with the directions. He just like gave call out after call out after call out.
I'm gonna scream at you, but it's all out of love. Break left, go, 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 cut across, cut timing, go, 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 go. Take your time.
All right, let's go. 5 seconds. What the hell?
Which I really appreciated. So funny enough, that time that I got in that lap with Mike actually would end up being my fastest time of the whole day. And I think it really comes down to just being yelled at like he was doing. It was almost like in a racing game when you got a driving line on, lighting up different colors to let you know when to do things. It's kind of like a real life version of that. I went around and around, did 4 laps with instructors, and then in the second half of the day, once we split to the afternoon, that was where it was all solo. So I could finally go by myself and make the runs completely on my own, which I was like really looking forward to at this point because I felt comfortable with the course and I was feeling really ready. We fast forward to the solo lap. My camera kind of bugged out on quite a few of them, but I managed to get on my very last lap of the entire day a proper full run, so you can see that right now.
I'm gonna just send it.
How many cones you racked up? You maybe.
Last lap ended up being a good run, but at that point I think there was a decent amount of tire wear. Nothing like too crazy, but the tires I had on the car were already like 2 years old, so there was definitely some wear going into this. And that's something I'll definitely be mindful of like next time I go into one of these events. So for anybody like new to autocross like I was and thinking about going and trying it, as long as you have something that has 4 wheels and can drive, I swear you could probably enter autocross. I mean, I don't know what this was, but this was in autocross. And it was loud too, man. Absurdly loud. Yeah, I don't know what that was. But if you want to just go have fun, it's really safe. You're not racing against literal people, just the clock, and there's really nothing you can hit except for some cones. After doing this, I would 100% recommend it. Besides that, you know, make sure your tires are at least somewhat decent. In my case, I should have put more sunscreen on. My neck literally burned to a crisp. The next day I was like a lobster. It was just really cool to be able to take this car that I put so much work into and just go flat out with it, just whip it around turns. It was really cool. Anyways, I have a lot of Imouri WRX content coming this year because I really don't think I covered enough of it last year. We got that wrap on, it was like later in the year. I didn't have the time to do this kind of content. I've made time this year, and I just want to show you guys some of the updates and work that goes on around this car, because this car behind me is part of the brand. This is something that I enjoy doing, and I just think it'd be cool to take you guys along the ride of working on this thing and seeing it progress as time goes on here. So if you're not following us, it's at Imouri Shop everywhere on all social media, literally. You know the deal, Imouri.com for original anime streetwear. The things I put my soul into making, like this hoodie I'm wearing right now, the new Hana Akari. Yeah, this is the newest hoodie out, and there's a really sick collection coming in May because May is our anniversary month. So stay tuned for more things to come real soon. Other than that, I'm gonna try to keep the videos coming this year, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.